Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We're heading to the ACC for Saturday. We got a big one. We've got Virginia at North Carolina, two of the top teams in the ACC. Ralph, I'm going to kick it to you first. This Virginia ball club, you talk about defense. They're #1 in the country in scoring defense, allowing just 55.1 points per game. And, you know, they're not the household name of Duke or North Carolina, but boy, they have been playing some great basketball. How do you see this one on Saturday? We're looking at a projected line. Now, both teams have big games midweek that could affect the line on Saturday, but if nothing out of the ordinary goes down tonight in ACC action and we're taping on Wednesday, we're projecting this one to be 4.5, North Carolina minus 4.5. How do you see it?
Virginia was my #1 defense in the Wager Talk College basketball guide. They now slid down to #3 with their performance the last couple weekends. But, you know, the situational edge clearly goes to North Carolina. Virginia lost to Virginia Tech on Sunday. Turn around, now they're hosting Duke. And then they played at North Carolina. North Carolina, while they have their in-state rival NC State on Wednesday, it's not the matchup that it used to be where, you know, you're a sizable favorite and you're expected to win. It comes down to this for me. I usually back a defensive dog, and Virginia 3-0 as a dog this year. They play very well because they keep the score within reason. But I'm going to side with the home team, situational edge, and a 28-1 straight-up record at home. I mean, the last 2 years. That says it for me. When you're laying in that 3, 4, 5 range, you can look at a team and how they do on the road with straight-up wins or how they do at home. North Carolina, strongest home court. Again, 28-1 the last 2 years. Only lost to Duke by a point last year. So I'll side with the Tar Heels.
Brian?
Yeah, I like the Virginia team. I like teams that play defense as you do. But they do have that game against Duke coming up. And without knowing the reaction of how it's going to play out with Duke, I made the line 5 for North Carolina. So I lean a little bit with North Carolina's side at this point because they are playing at home. We're always looking at who's going to dictate the pace. And this is one of those. North Carolina wants to get out and run. Virginia obviously wants to slow down the pace. When you're playing with the athletes that North Carolina has, playing at home, I would think they would dictate the pace a little bit better. So I'm leaning a little bit with North Carolina here, but you know, North Carolina's coming off the NC State game. I believe they beat them by like 50 the first time they played them. So we'll have to see what happens there. But that Duke-Virginia game should be a really great game. But coming up on this one, if we're getting that 4 range, I think I'm going to be on North Carolina in this one.
All right, well, I'll go the other side for this one for me, and I do. I like defense and give me points. In Virginia, they play such good defense. And the problem with North Carolina, now I will say, you know I'm a situational guy. So situationally, this is a bad spot for Virginia, having to play Duke and North Carolina back-to-back games. But I look at this North Carolina team, and I just don't like the way they're playing defense. They give up too many easy buckets. And when you talk about dictating the pace, if Virginia gets those easy buckets, North Carolina is not going to be able to get a rebound and, you know, get out there into space and, you know, go up tempo. I think Virginia will be able to get back and get into their defense, and I think that's going to frustrate North Carolina a little bit in this game. Now, I know that we have without knowing the Wednesday night game, if Virginia has a monumental game against Duke, they could suffer a letdown. But I think they might have learned their lesson about a letdown last Sunday because they blew out their in-state rival Virginia Tech a couple games earlier, and then last Sunday they played them in a quick rematch. And the game definitely meant more to Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech beat them in overtime. So I think that might just serve the purpose of keeping this team focused. If I get over 4, I got to take the dog for me. I like the defensive dog here.
Question, Marco. What if Virginia is off a loss to Virginia Tech and off a loss to Duke? Does that hurt their confidence, a team that thought they might have won the conference and now 2 straight losses and having to travel?
That would be, definitely that would put a fly in the ointment. But on the same token, that's going to give them I think you'll see the line come out closer to the 5 side, maybe even 5.5 if they have a bad performance in Duke. So let's see what happens tonight. It's tough whenever you got such a big game on Wednesday and we're forecasting a game for Saturday. But you've got 2 guys. Brian and Ralph lean to North Carolina. I like Virginia taking the points. I'll take that defensive underdog with the points to keep it close. And guys, don't forget, if you want to get on board and find out exactly what we're using, check out your favorite capper. You can get a weekend all-access package for $59. That'll get you Thursday through Sunday. 4 big days of action, $59. That includes all plays. Any big 5 or 6% plays from any of the cappers, you can check that out at wagertalk.com. We'll be back with more here at Wager Talk.